And this is Gavel to Gavel, WCVW-TV's complete coverage of the Richmond City Council. And good evening once again. I'm Dick Harmon. Welcome to our first meeting of the month of March. And it looks like, hard to say. It looks like it might be a light item night tonight. We do have 32 items on the agenda. However, 9 are consent agenda, 19 are appointments and reappointments, and 4 are on the regular agenda. So let's take a look and see what's going to be left by the time we are done. We'll start off with item number 1, Ordinance 2012-72. This is conditionally rezoning properties known as 3320 Rear Taylor Drive, etc. This is moving from the current zoning of R1 single-family residential and R4 single-family residential conditional to R5 single-family residential conditional. Well, anyhow, that's being continued until our next meeting on March 25th. Item number 2, Ordinance 2012-232, and this is putting in a new section making it unlawful for any person to attach a bicycle, motorcycle, or moped to a city-owned tree. That one's being continued until the 25th of March as well. Item number 3, Ordinance 2013-10, to adopt personnel rules for the classified service for the classified employees of the city. That one is going back to government operations and will be continued until the first meeting in the month of April, April 8th. Number 4, Ordinance 2013-28, and this authorizes a written designee on behalf of the city to enter into and from time to time modify license agreements by which the city licenses to parties other than city parking spaces within city-owned parking facilities not used for city employees. And that one is going to be staying on the consent agenda tonight. Item number 5, Ordinance 2013-29, special use at 1318 Parkwood Avenue for the purpose of permitting a two-family detached dwelling upon certain terms and conditions. In case you're wondering, they've just dimmed the lights here. So if I'm looking a little darker, that's exactly why. Item number 6, Ordinance number 213-30, special use at 1316 Parkwood Avenue. That one stays on consent agenda. Item number 7, 32. This alters the application of portions of the city code to a Richmond retirement system member by excluding such member from the requirements that the member be retired at any time prior to the member's normal retirement date, and that one stays on consent. Item number 8, Ordinance 2013-40, and this is adding a new section for the purpose of prohibiting the inclusion of questions pertaining to an applicant's criminal conviction history on initial applications for city employment. That one's being amended tonight and continued till the next meeting on March 25th. And resolution number 213-R76, item number 9. This is approving $1,500 from city district funds for the 3rd District to pay the Department of Information Technology for the printing and mailing of postcards to 3rd District residents. Those are the items on the consent agenda. Now, appointments and reappointments, we've got 19 of them, so we'll kind of run through them as quickly as we can. Item number 10 appoints Candace L. Street as a member of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Advisory Board. Item number 11 appoints Henry C. Coleman, Jr., member of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Advisory Board. Item number 12 appoints Samuel S. Young, Jr., member of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Advisory Board. Item 13, appointing William S. Cooper, Jr. as a member of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Advisory Board. Item 14, appointing Christopher Sterling as a member of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Advisory Board. Item 15, Pauline Himes, a member of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Advisory Board. Item 16, this appoints Doug Cole as a member of the City Planning Commission. Item 17, appointing Carly U. Soriano, member of the Community Criminal Justice Board. Item 18, reappointing Michael Paul Dodson, a member of the Advisory Board of Recreation and Parks. Now, once again, let me remind you that if it's an appointment, you must be present here tonight for that to be voted on. If it's a reappointment, you need not be present. So, in the instance, brother of Michael Dodson, he does not have to be here tonight because it's a reappointment. Item 19 appoints Michael J. Gilbert, member of the Advisory Board of Recreation and Parks. Item 20, Appointing Uzziah Anthony Harris, member of the Advisory Board of Recreation and Parks. Item 21, appointing Lana K. Pennington, member of the Career and Technical Education Commission. Item 22, appointing Brian Fries, a member of the Career and Technical Education Commission. Item 23, appointing Harley Tomey III as a member of the Community Policy and Management Team. Item 24, appointing Nancy Toscano, member of the Community Policy and Management Team. Item 25, appointing Claire Osdean Shapiro, member of the Board of Directors of Lewis Ginter Botanical Gardens. Item 26, this would have appointed Bonnie Pratt as a member of the Sister Cities Commission. That paper has been withdrawn. Item 27, reappointing William Francis Sharkey II, member of the Richmond Behavioral Health Authority. And item 28, reappointing Betty Squire, member of the Personnel Board of the City of Richmond. Those are the appointments and reappointments for tonight. Now we get to the regular agenda. Item number 29, Ordinance 2012-29. It's a special use of 122 Tempsford Lane, and that one's being continued again until the 25th of March. Item 30, Ordinance 2012-168. Amend and reordain the ordinance which authorizes special use at 2501 Monument Avenue. This is for the purpose of a museum for architecture with outdoor events, a reception facility, an out-of-print book dealer, and a lodging unit. This is all being continued until the 8th of April. Now, item 31, and this one is, well, I guess we call it one of the chicken papers. It concerns the keeping and running at large of hogs, pigs, and fowl. This amends and reordains it for the purpose of establishing regulations, a new fee. This would add a new fee for the purpose of establishing regulations for keeping, placement, and maintenance of chickens in the city. Now, there is some talk about this being continued until the 8th of April. That's a possibility, or it may go through tonight because the rest of the papers concerning raising chickens in the city are due to come up on April 8th. And so President Samuels has said possibly put this off until then, but it may get voted on tonight. It would not take effect until April 8th. So we'll have to wait on that one. And item 32, Ordinance 2013-R8, and that's establishing a policy that a patron of a proposal that would result in reduction of existing revenue must also identify an alternative revenue source to offset the proposed reduction. And proposals that would result in reduction of an existing revenue source must be introduced during the annual budget process. Well, that's going to be amended and continued until our next meeting. And basically what this does is if you want to take money out, you got to find a way to bring money back in. So basically trying to keep a balanced budget. That one will be amended and continued until our next meeting on March 25th. So where do we end up? Okay, start out the consent agenda with 9 items. 3 are being continued, 1's being amended, continued, so we'll only have 5 items left on consent agenda. Appointments, reappointments, 1 has been withdrawn, so we have 18 remaining. 14 of those are appointments and 4 are reappointments. Regular agenda, 2 are being continued, 1 is being amended and continued, and the fee for chickens, we're not quite sure which one that is going to be, so possibly there'll be 1 paper on the regular agenda tonight or none. Now, you're wondering about the window paper that we took over 2 hours to talk about last time, and they had a special meeting on it. Well, here is what happened. The resolution, 2013-R47, was to reverse the decision of the Commission of Architectural Review, which denied a certificate of appropriateness for vinyl replacement windows in a home at 2916 Monument Avenue. Now, that was continued from February 25th, for consideration and action on the date of the special meeting. Well, that was then continued until our March 25th meeting. And here's what happened. President Samuels reported that the Commission of Architectural Review voted 8-0 on a 75-day extension concerning the legislation to allow for additional negotiation time with the applicant. President Samuels also reported that the March 25th continuance date will allow counselors to be updated on the status of the matter should the paper need to be continued further. So they've got another 75 days. They're going to bring it back up here at our next meeting and talk about it some more. But the motion was seconded and adopted 7-1. Councilmember Hilbert was absent at that meeting. the only no vote coming from Councilmember Agelasto. And that's what happened on that paper. Now we've got two expedited consideration papers. Now, an expedited consideration paper, you have to vote first to bring it before the council and then vote on the paper. So they are going to be introduced. And I will tell you that they both concern status of the city clerk position here in the city of Richmond. If both papers are approved, we will have a new interim city clerk at the end of this meeting. But that is has to go before the council. They have to vote first off to say, yes, we will go by expedited consideration. Then there'll be a hearing, and then they will vote on the papers. Okay, now, citizens' comment period. We've only got 3 people speaking tonight. We have one talking about banning the box, and that's the box you check concerning previous convictions. One will talk about a hole in front of a home left by a private contractor, and one to talk about youth. And we have awards and presentations tonight. One will be for Richmond Meditation Month, and that's recognizing, honoring, and celebrating the importance of dispute resolution and mediation. Excuse me, not meditation, mediation. Richmond City Council hereby proclaims the month of March as Richmond Mediation Month. Not meditation, but mediation. Sorry about that. The other is Mrs. Bertha Burke is going to be here, and they will personally recognize and celebrate Mrs. Burke and the official establishment naming in her honor of Bertha's Country Lane for the alley located beside her home at 100 North Belmont in the Richmond Historic Museum District. And Mrs. Burke will be down here to accept that award. There is one other award that was already presented to the One Voice Chorus, officially recognizing, honoring, and celebrating One Voice Chorus for more than 10 years of musical success in the greater Richmond metro community. So that's what it looks like tonight. Will it be a long meeting? Will it be a short meeting? You never know until it's over. We'll be getting started in just a couple of minutes. I'm Dick Harmon. Stay tuned.
Are we all set?
Which is like awesome, but then it's it's given me a lot of well, it's like, yeah, I feel like certain people, like you and I are definitely in this, like, it's like both sides of the like, I have no problem with it. Like, I don't, like, do you think yeah. I think that's, like, why they, I mean, in my agency, I know specifically because I asked in my hearing, you know, I was like, why do you hire me? Why do you I really want to know if you could, like, you know, just like, I was just like, I wanted to figure out if they were doing it because they wanted freely or if they were doing it because they had social work. And my supervisor was like pretty straight up about it. And he's like very, like he's great. He's a great social worker and he's a great leader in that program. But I had to call like 3 times to get it. And like I missed last Wednesday because they closed. So I emailed on Friday about what I needed to every day.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's 5:59. If council members will take their seat by the time the second hand moves itself around, we'll be ready to start. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's 6 o'clock. This meeting will now come to order. I'd like to begin by asking everyone to stand for the invocation given by Reverend Donna Tucker, the Associate Minister at Tabernacle Baptist Church, immediately followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
We come on this opportunity that has been presented before us this day, thanking you for keeping us away from hurt, harm, and all danger, that we were able to arrive to this destination and able to keep our minds stayed on those things that are laid at our hand on this day. We ask that you would steady every heart, steady every mind, that it might be able to be focused on the business that is at hand, that you would be with every member of this council, that they may continue to be mindful of the objective and those things that are concern of the community for the city of Richmond at large. We ask that you would just allow that even in disagreement, that they might continue to be understanding that it is about the welfare and the well-being of the community and the people at large for that of the city of Richmond. We ask it and pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. I hope everyone feels free to have a seat. At this point, the Chamber Emergency Evacuation Plan announcement and citizen speakers guidelines will be given by the clerk.
Upon activation of the emergency alarm signal, all persons should immediately exit the building. Please use the exit to the left or right front of the council chamber or the east and west stairway outside the rear doors of the chamber. Do not use elevator or escalators. After exiting the building, proceed to the assembly area located in the parking lot bordered by Clay, 8th, 9th, and 9th Streets. Citizens and employees should assist visually and hearing impaired visitors with exiting the building. Citizen speakers guideline. Citizen wishing to speak during public hearing or citizen comment period are generally given 3 minutes to speak. Persons appear before council are not allowed to campaign for public office, promote private business venture, use language of a personal nature which insults or demeans any person, including comments directed at public officials or staff members that are not related to their official duties, or address or question staff members directly. All questions are to be directed to the President of Council. Failure to adhere to the guidelines may result in speaker forfeiting any remaining time and future disciplinary action as necessary, which could include barring from attending any future meetings of City Council for a period of 6 months.
Mr. President, for the record, all members of council are in attendance this evening.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. At this point, may I have the clerk please read the appointments and reappointments on tonight's agenda?
Yes, and when I call your name, will you please stand? First, we have item number 10, which is resolution number 2013-R56, to appoint Candace L. Street as a member of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Advisory Board. Item number 11, resolution number 2013-R57, to appoint Henry C. Coleman, Jr. as a member of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Advisory Board. Item number 12, resolution number 2013-R58, to appoint Samuel S. Young, Jr. as a member of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Advisory Board. Samuel Young. Item number 13 is resolution number 2013-R59, to appoint William S. Cooper, Jr. as a member of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Advisory Board. Item number 14, resolution number 2013-R60, to appoint Christopher C. Sterling as a member of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Advisory Board. Item number 15, resolution number 2013-R61, to appoint Pauline N. Hyman as a member of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Advisory Board. Pauline Hyman. Item number 16, resolution number 2013-R62, to appoint Doug Cole as a member of the City Planning Commission. To reappoint Doug Cole as a member of the City Planning Commission. Item number 17, resolution number 2013-R63, to appoint Carly U. Soriano as a member of the Community Criminal Justice Board. Carly, Okay, thank you. Item number 18, resolution number 2013-R64, to reappoint Michael Paul Dodson as a member of the Advisory Board of Recreation and Parks. Item number 19, resolution number 2013-R65, to appoint Michael J. Gilbert as a member of the Advisory Board of Recreation and Parks. Item number 20, resolution number 2013-R66, to appoint Uzziah Anthony Harris as a member of the Advisory Board of Recreation and Park. Item number 21, resolution number 2013-R67, to appoint Lena K. Pennington as a member of the Career and Technical Education Commission. Lena K. Pennington. Item number 22, resolution number 2013-R68, to appoint Brian A. Frice as a member of the Career and Technical Education Commission. Item number 23, resolution number 2013-R69, to appoint Harley A. Tommy III as a member of the Community Policy and Management Team. Item number 24, resolution number 2013-R70, to appoint Nancy A. Toscano as a member of the Community Policy and Management Team. Item number 25, resolution number 2013-R71, to appoint Claire Osden Shapiro as a member of the Board of Directors of Lewis Ginter Botanical Garden. Item number 27, resolution number 2013-R73, to reappoint William Francis Sharkley II as a member of the Richmond Behavioral Health Authority. And item number 28, resolution number 2013-R74, to reappoint Betty L. Squire as a member of the Personnel Board. Mr. President, those are all of the appointment papers that I have for consideration this evening.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. On behalf of the City Council and the City of Richmond, thank you for your willingness to serve, to give up your free time to help your community in all these various boards and commissions. We really appreciate it. After the papers are adopted, if you would please meet the Assistant City Clerk at the rear of the chamber on the left, she can direct you to her office where you'll be administered your oath. Thank you. At this point, you may be seated, though. Are there any folks here that wish to speak in favor of any of these papers? Are there any folks here that wish to speak in opposition to any of these papers? Mr. Hatcher, if you would, as you come down, please identify which paper you're opposed to, please, and the reasons why.
How about all of them? The name is Donald Hatcher. I don't know which way this city is going. I would think the rightful thing to do is if you're going to appoint someone to a board, there should be a date that that person's term will end. I noticed on this agenda here today, there's quite a few appointments where there is no termination of their duty. I guess that's going to be decided at a later date. But I would think that a rightful council would have a beginning and an end to everything. But when you put something so broadly that folks can say how long they're going to serve, who knows? Only God knows. And that's not right to the way I see it. This city needs to start doing things, taking into consideration the people in this city. You folks are serving on council, that's good and well. But we the citizens who pay the cost and look for y'all to be presentable, you sure disappoint me. Thank you.
Very good. Any other folks to speak in opposition? Seeing none, bring it back to council for any discussion.
Mr. President.
Mr. Hilbert.
Thank you. I have as an abundance of caution, I'm going to abstain on item number 14, the appointment of Mr. Sterling, in that our employers are involved in a pending transaction of a loan from my employer, and while I may not have a conflict, I'm going to abstain on a technical conflict. I'm going to abstain as an abundance of caution.
Very wise, Mr. Hilbert. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Call the question, Madam Clerk.
And just for clarification, Mr. President, if I may, items number 12, 15, and 21 will be continued to the March 25th meeting, as those individuals are not present with us this evening.
Very good. Will we do that by a separate vote after voting?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Yes. Council is now voting on the appointment and reappointment papers as presented. Mr. Bilals?
Aye.
Ms. Graziano?
Aye.
Ms. Mosby?
Aye.
Vice President Robertson?
Aye.
Mr. Aguilasta?
Aye.
Mr. Hilbert?
Aye, except for number 14, abstain.
Ms. Trammell?
Aye.
Dr. Newbill?
Aye.
President Samuels?
Aye.
Those papers have been adopted.
Very good. Now, do we need to make does someone need to make a motion for a continuance on the other papers?
We can do that when we handle the agenda amendments,
Excellent.
if you'd like.
Thank you. That being the case, let's move forward to awards and presentations.
The first award being presented by President Charles Samuels goes to Carol McHugh of Richmond's Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court Dispute Resolution Office, and is to recognize March 2013 as Richmond Mediation Month. The honorable members of Richmond City Council hereby unite to recognize, honor, and celebrate the importance of mediation. The year 2013 marks the 20th anniversary of the passage of the Dispute Resolution Proceeding statute in Virginia, which plays an important role in institutionalizing the use of mediation in Virginia courts of law. The Code of Virginia defines mediation as a process in which a neutral facilitates communication between the parties and, without deciding the issue or imposing a solution on the parties, enables them to understand and reach a mutual agreement resolution to their dispute. Mediation is a valuable service not only to litigants but also to courts. A national research indicates mediation cases are less likely to return to court, and if they do, there is less conflict in subsequent cases. Also, mediation may assist in simultaneously resolving multiple related petitions before a court. Thus, it is believed tangible cost savings are realized in terms of judicial time and resources when mediation is used. In order to recognize the importance of dispute resolution and mediation, Richmond City Council does hereby proclaim the month of March 2013 as Richmond Mediation Month and call this observance to the attention of all our residents.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Ms. McHugh, for those of you who don't know, was actually my mediation teacher when I was in school and wanted to learn a different skill besides just fighting for a position, but to find a solution that works for everybody. And I have to say that in my time on council, whether it's with constituents or my colleagues, they're skills I use every day. Ms. McHugh has the added benefit of being the dispute resolution coordinator for the City of Richmond's Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court. And it's one thing when you can find an agreement if you're fighting over money. But when you're fighting about children and you're arguing what you think is best for a child and what somebody else thinks is best for a child, working together for the child is almost always better than just duking it out. I want to thank her for the time she has spent dedicating her professional career to this. And if you'd like to say anything, please do.
I'd just like to thank President Samuels and the council for your support of our program at the court.
Next, we have a recognition award being presented by Councilman Bilals, and the award is being presented to Bertha Burke. The honorable members of Richmond City Council hereby unite to recognize and celebrate Mr. and Mrs. Milton and Bertha Burke on the official establishment and naming of their honor of Bertha's Country Lane for the alley located behind their home at 100 North Belmont Avenue in Richmond's Historic Museum District neighborhood. Ms. Burke began beautifying the outdoor landscape around her home by planting roses, bushes, and other flowers in her yard and in the alley running beside the house. Over the years, the splendor of the alley grew into an urban garden masterpiece due to her kind attention and consistent loving care. Ms. Burke's outstanding dedication to creating and maintaining the community treasure has created many admirers and earned her the appreciation of her entire neighborhood. Richmond City Council hereby recognizes and celebrates the Burks on the official establishment and naming in their honor of Bertha's Country Lane for the alley located beside their home at 100 North Belmont Avenue in Richmond's historic Museum District neighborhood, and brings this to the attention of the entire Richmond community.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. About 15 years ago, I moved in behind Bertha and Milton's house, and the neighbors were very welcoming and friendly, and they welcomed me to the neighborhood, and how you doing? Have you met Milton and Bertha? You need to meet them. They are the royalty of our corner of our neighborhood. And this alley is the reason why. Bertha moved into this alley, or into this house in 1945, and in 1954, when they still redid roofs with pea gravel, they dumped an extra load in the alley, and the roofer didn't want to haul it away, so she said, I'll take it. And she began constructing the alley that you see, and started planting it with grass seed. And this sign was installed on Friday. Over the years, everybody's known that this is Bertha's Alley. And one time in the 1980s, a crew came in and started tearing it up. They didn't, I guess it was a new person, they didn't realize what was happening. And she went out and stopped them and said, you can't go any further. And they called a supervisor in, and Bertha said, you can't mess with this alley. And the public works crew left, and the next day the supervisor delivered a bag of grass seed to Bertha so she could replant the grass strip in the median. And since then, it's been maintained with wisteria and flowers. All the neighbors have contributed over the years. It's been a really great addition to our neighborhood. And the reason why this is here, this house is here, this alley is here, is even more poignant. Milton's father was a sergeant with the Richmond Police Force. Excuse me, his name was J.H. Burke. He was killed in the line of duty in 1925. The police force at the time, with friends and neighbors, took up a collection and purchased the house for Milton and his mother. Milton at the time was 5 months old. And they have lived there ever since. Milton unfortunately passed away just last summer, and the Burkes have been an influence on our neighborhood ever since. As a tribute to why this alley is here and why we're lucky as neighbors in the neighborhood, Chief Tarasovic of the Richmond Police Department has graciously, as part of this presentation, offered this framed photograph for Bertha and her family of Milton's father. This is the picture that hangs on the wall of honor in the police department and at the police academy, along with the other fallen officers of the city of Richmond. So I just want to present both this award and this framed photograph to Bertha and her son Penn and the rest of her family and neighbors that are here tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you.
President Samuel and the rest of the group, I want to thank you so much. I didn't do this alley to get attention, but thank you. I did it because I love playing in the dirt.
Thank you, John.
Mr. President, those are all of the awards and presentations for this evening.
Very good. I heard a rumor that Mr. Young has arrived. Mr. Sam Young is here. Would you mind standing up? Very good. Ms. Clerk, thank you. You could be seated. Would you mind if we go back and do item 12 now so that we can appoint Mr. Young?
Item number 12 is resolution number 2013-R58 to appoint Samuel S. Young, Jr. as a member of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Advisory Board.
Thank you very much. At this point, is there anyone in the audience here to speak in favor or opposition, both, to Mr. Young's appointment? Very good. Back to council. Any discussion? Very good. Please call the question, Madam Clerk.
Council is voting on item number 12, resolution number 2013-R58. Mr. Beliles? Aye. Ms. Graziano?
Aye.
Ms. Mosby?
Aye.
Vice President Robertson?
Aye.
Mr. Agelasto?
Aye.
Mr. Hilbert?
Aye.
Ms. Trammell?
Aye.
Dr. Newbill?
Aye.
President Samuels?
Aye.
That paper has been adopted.
Thank you very much. Mr. Young, thank you for your service. If you would step over, there's going to be a clerk in the back left corner there. She'll take you over to the clerk's office to administer your oath. Appreciate your willingness to serve. Thank you, sir. Very good. At this point, Madam Clerk, may we please review the list of amendments to tonight's agenda?
Yes, amendments to tonight's agenda consist of the following. Item number 1, ordinance number 2012-72 is to be continued to March 25th. Item number 2, ordinance number 2012-232 is to be continued to March 25th. Item number 3, ordinance number 2013-10 to be continued to the March 28th Governmental Operations Standing Committee and back before council on April the 8th. Item number 4, ordinance number 2013-40, that's being amended and continued later this evening. Item number Item number 15, resolution number 2013-R61 is being continued to March 25th. Item number 21, resolution number 2013-R67, that's being continued to March 25th. Item number 26 is being withdrawn. On the regular agenda, item number 29, ordinance number 2012-29, that's being continued to March 25th. Item number 30, ordinance number 2012-168, that's being continued to March the 8th. Item number 31, ordinance number 2013-17, that's being moved to the consent agenda. And item number 32, resolution number 2013-R8, is to be amended and continued later this evening.
Does any council member have any additional amendments to tonight's agenda? Very good. Seeing now, may I please have the clerk call the question?
I'll need a motion to accept the amended agenda as presented. Ms. Graziano, will you make that motion?
So moved.
Council is voting on Ms. Graziano's motion to accept the amended agenda as presented. Mr. Beliles? Aye. Ms. Graziano?
Aye.
Ms. Mosby?
Aye.
Vice President Robertson?
Aye.
Mr. Agelasto?
Aye.
Mr. Hilbert?
Aye.
Ms. Trammell?
Aye.
Dr. Newbill?
Aye.
President Samuels?
Aye.
The amended agenda is before you.
Very good. And with the amended agenda, there are no papers on the regular agenda. Is that correct, Madam Clerk?
That is correct. There are no regular agenda items.
Very good. That being the case, are there any papers to be amended and continued?
Yes, we have 2 items. I'll start with item number 8, which is ordinance number 2013-40. That's to amend the city code for the purpose of prohibiting the inclusion of questions pertaining to an applicant's criminal conviction history on initial applications for city employment. The proposed amendment to that paper is as follows. Page 1, line 17, after the word law, insert the phrase, or for positions that the council by resolution has determined should not be subject to this prohibition. I will need a motion to accept the amendment to that paper and continue it to Monday, March the 25th. Dr. Newbill, will you make that motion?
So moved, Madam Clerk.
Council is voting on Dr. Newbill's motion to accept the amendments to item number 8, ordinance number 2013-40, and presented, and for the paper to be continued to Monday, March the 25th. Mr. Beliles? Aye. Ms. Graziano?
Aye.
Ms. Mosby?
Aye.
Vice President Robertson?
Aye.
Mr. Agelasto?
Aye.
Mr. Hilbert?
Aye.
Ms. Trammell?
Aye.
Dr. Newbill?
Aye.
President Samuels.
Aye.
That motion has been adopted, and that paper will be before you again on Monday, March the 25th. Next, we have item number 32, resolution number 2013-R8. That's to establish a policy that, one, the patron of a proposal that would result in the reduction of an existing revenue source must also identify an alternative revenue source to offset the proposed reduction, and two, proposals that would result in the reduction of an existing revenue source must be introduced only during the city council budget process. The proposed amendment to that paper is as follows. Page 1, line 4, after the word "the," delete the word "patron" and insert the text "patrons, whether the mayor or one or more members of council." Page 1, line 6, after the Roman numeral 2, delete the word "proposals" and insert the word "any proposal." Page 1, line 7, after the word "must," delete the phrase "be introduced only during the city's annual budget process" and insert the phrase "have an effective date no earlier than the first July 1, falling at least 120 calendar days after the adoption of such proposal." Page 2, line 10, after the word "the," delete the word "patron" and insert the text "patrons, whether the mayor or one or more members of the council." Page 2, line 12, after the Roman numeral 2, delete the word "proposals" and insert the words "any proposal." Page 2, line 13, after the word "must," delete the phrase "be introduced only during the city's annual budget process" and insert the phrase "have an effective date no earlier than the first July 1, falling at least 120 calendar days after the adoption of such proposal." Page 2, line 19, after the word "the," delete the word "patron" and insert the text "patrons, whether the mayor or one or more members of the council." Page 2, line 21, after the Roman numeral 2, delete the word "proposals" and insert the words "any proposal." Page 2, line 22, after the word "must," delete the phrase "be introduced only during the city's annual budget process" and insert the phrase "have an effective date no earlier than the first July 1, falling at least 120 calendar days after the adoption of such proposal, provided that the proposal shall have no application to revenue reduction measures proposed for the succeeding fiscal year in conjunction with the process for the adoption of the annual budget and appropriation ordinances pursuant to Chapter 6 of the Charter of the City of Richmond 2010 as amended. I will need a motion to accept the amendment as presented and to continue that paper to Monday, March the 25th, 2013. Councilor Agelasto, will you make that motion?
I'm so happy to make the motion. I do have a question about the amendment, however.
Okay.
So I will move to consider making the amendment and continuing the paper.
That's a motion.
So would you have a discussion about the motion, or?
We certainly can. I just want to make sure they had enough time to write down what they needed to do. Yes, Mr. Agelasto, if you have a question, I'd be happy to.
I do have a question as the patron of this, or as one of the co-patrons on this. The 120-day adjustment that's been made here or recommended, how many days before July 1st do we receive the administration's budget proposal?
We have a time. I will direct it to the city attorney.
The ordinance currently in place, Mr. Agelasto, calls for the budget to be presented on March 6th. This year, council adopted a resolution extending that to March 12th, but the ordinance remains in place, applicable to all future years until changed March 6th.
And is that outside or inside of this 120-day amendment proposal?
Should be just outside. 120 days should be approximately March 1.
March 1st, so it gives us just a little bit of time to make any adjustments or recommendations to ordinances that might affect the budget before the budget is actually submitted.
It would give you time to approve any adjustments to revenue sources during the budget process. This would actually call for any revenue reduction measure that would take effect on July 1 to be in place before the budget process begins.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, I believe we have a motion in front of us.
President.
Mr. Hilbert.
Thank you. I just, was this a negotiated time frame, this 120, or was it dependent upon state code? That question is directed to the city attorney.
Very good. Mr. Attorney.
I believe it was essentially suggested by my office to the patrons. It is not required by state law.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Wood. Any other questions? Very good. We have a motion, Madam Clerk?
Yes, we do have a motion on the floor by Councilor Agelasto to accept the amendment as read and to continue resolution number 2013-R8 to the March 25th meeting of council. Mr. Bilals? Ms. Graziano?
Aye.
Ms. Mosby?
Aye.
Vice President Robertson?
Aye.
Mr. Agelasto?
Aye.
Mr. Hilbert?
Aye.
Ms. Trammell?
Aye.
Dr. Newbill?
Aye.
President Samuels?
Aye.
That amendment has been adopted, and that paper will be before you again on Monday, March the 25th.
Thank you very much. Any other motions to amend and continue?
No, those were the only two that we had for consideration.
Very good. Then let's proceed to the citizen comment period, if we may, please.
Yes, the first citizen speaker is Reverend Hassan R. Zarif. Reverend Hassan R. Zarif. Next is Dolores Gordon. Dolores Gordon.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Dolores Gordon. I live at 2706 Cheatham Street. They had a project on my block. I'm sorry. They were working on my block October the 5th, 2008. The city hired a contractor called Salmon. The supervisor was Jeff Barker. They put a sewage hole in front of my house. They left it open where my water and my gas line are sitting up, where a car or truck can go down in it. It looks very bad. They have covered it. If they had covered it with a grate to enclose it, then these pipes will not be showing. The water is still standing in my yard. Also, my neighbor next door at 2702 in her yard. Our yards are like a pool of water. I've been calling the city since 2008. Now it's going on 5 years. I have spoken to many of you down here. Still, nothing has been done. I have sent in many citizens' requests for meetings I have been at the 8th District, where several of you have been. I have met there. I have a long list of names, yet you still have not done anything. Everybody seems to be passing the buck. The last 3 years, they have stated it is in the budget. It still has not been done as of 2012. Then, the other day, someone called me and still saying the same thing that is in the schedule. I am tired of this. So as of February the 21st, the city had Real Estate Martley put a sign in my driveway for 2704. If they had came out there and taken a look, they would have seen it's not a piece of land at all, just a small spot, which I use as a driveway. They also had someone to give my neighbor at 2702 a citation for a shed to be done by February the 20th, or pay $2,500 $100 when they were supposed to be checking my hole in front of my property. When are you going to get this job done? I'm very tired of this. As you see, I'm a much older person. Why do I have to come down here to make a speech regarding my property? Now, what is going to happen next? Will I ever get the job done? I pay all my taxes and all my bills on time. What is wrong? Something is wrong with the city right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Gordon. There is a young lady in the back. She's getting ready to stand up, Ms. Crystalinitis. I would ask that you go back and provide her with the same information you just provided to us to make sure that both council and the administration have the information so we can assist you.
Thank you.
Mr. President.
Yes, Mr. Trammell.
Thank you. She lives in my district. Dolores, wait 1 minute. This has been going on, like she said. I know you said 5 years. I have records, I have pictures, I have all of that I know for the past 2.5 years. We have turned this stuff in over and over and over and over. And it's like she said, city comes out there, they don't take care of her issue, but yet though they ride up and down the road and write up everybody else. Elderly people, for a shed or for debris or whatever like that, but yet they don't come out there and take care of an issue that's been going on for 2.5 years.
Right.
It's not right. And we need, this council needs to let people know that we cannot direct city employees out there to do the job that Mr. Mayor is supposed to be handling at City Hall. This falls under him, not us, because we can't tell people to go out there, and all that we can do is turn these citizens' requests in, put it in every department with the emails and all that, and I'm going to give you a copy of this. I know you've got them.
I have written you so many citizens' requests, and I think you have for the last 3.5 years. I know you have those copies in your office, and I'm tired of it now.
Thank you.
Something needs to be done.
And I'm going to
ask Mr. very bad
to stand with Ms. Anitis so that when you go back, you'll talk to the Deputy Chief Administrative Officer as well.
Yeah, he has a copy.
So that he's aware of exactly what's going on as well. Thank you very much for coming down and let us know about this.
Mr. President, I think it's a shame that we have our elderly that have to come here and beg us. I think it's a shame. They have to find a place to park or catch the bus and come down here to bring these concerns to us. When we do our job, we enter it into the system like we've told to do. They are told 3 months, 6 months, a year, and it's still not being taken care of. Then you have, like I said, you have to look at the photos because it'll break your heart to see these photos. It's not only in my 8th district, it's all over the city because I'm getting calls from other people that say that this goes on in their neighborhood and it's not getting done either. But anyway, thank you. Thank you, Dolores, for coming down here tonight and bringing your friend. Thank you.
Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
The next speaker is Marvin Green. Marvin Green. Mr. President, those are all of the speakers for this evening.
Thank you very much. Since citizen comment period has ended, I'd like to move on to the consent agenda. Madam Clerk, would you please give us a review of the items on tonight's consent agenda?
The consent agenda this evening are as follows. Item 4, ordinance number 2013-28, to amend city code to modify license agreement to parties that other than the city parking spaces within city-owned parking facilities not used for city employees parking. Item 5, ordinance number 2013-29, to authorize the special use of 1318 Parkwood Avenue for the purpose of permitting a 2-family detached dwelling. Item 6, ordinance number 2013-30, to authorize the special use of 1316 Parkwood Avenue for the purpose of permitting a 2-family detached dwelling. Item 7, ordinance number 2013-32, to alter application of a Richmond Retirement System member by excluding such member from the requirements that the member be retired at any time prior to the member's normal retirement date and that retirement occurs upon the termination of pay status. Item 9, resolution number 2013-R76, to approve $1,500 from the council district funds to pay for the printing and mailing of postcards to 3rd District residents. And item 31, Ordinance number 2013-17, to amend city code for the purpose of establishing regulations for the keeping, placement, and maintenance of chickens in the city. Mr. President, that concludes the consent agenda items.
Very good. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Are there persons in the audience tonight that wish to speak in favor of any items on the consent agenda?
My name's Chris Dorsey. I'm speaking in favor of one, and I'll speak in opposition when the opposition comes up. I'm speaking in favor of allowing people to choose what kind of food they want to consume. The city has no legal standing to tell anyone that they can or cannot raise chickens on their land, and you know, doesn't matter whether it goes through or not. I'm sure people are already doing it, and I urge and advise anyone out there to just ignore any unconstitutional law, which is most everything that this body puts forward. Thank you.
Mr. Dorsey, to save you some time, why don't you go ahead and speak to opposition on those things you're opposed to?
I mean, is that going to be the normal protocol? Because I just came up to speak in favor of this. So
it's to speed this meeting up so that you get your opportunity to speak.
Well, okay. Well, then do I get an additional 3 minutes to speak in opposition?
You do.
Okay. Where's the time? Because I'm not sure. I haven't seen you pull the tricks that Kathy pulled, but there's time tricks here.
Tell you what, I'll put a stopwatch on you, sir.
Okay, good.
Please begin.
I am speaking in opposition of all but one items on this consent agenda, and I oppose everything that this body does. It does not have any legal standing, and one thing I've seen is everyone in this chamber that's a member of council swear an oath to the U.S. Constitution and swear an oath to the Virginia Constitution. And Section 2 of the Virginia Constitution says that all power is vested and consequently derived from the people, that magistrates, that's you guys, that magistrates are their trustees and servants and at all times amenable to them. Now, with this consent agenda, as many of us have said many times, this is a bunch of things, a bunch of pieces of legislation people don't understand, bundled together and forced through, and usually passed unanimously. And my experience looking into most of this legislation is hardly any of it does any good for anybody. So I would say this body is never amenable in allowing people to understand what's truly going on. The woman who was just up here, who was being victimized by the city, that is the rule, and it is certainly not the exception. Again, I oppose everything this body does. I advise people to ignore any unlawful statutes passed by this body, and to state further that this body has no legal standing, no lawful standing, and neither does any body that it derives power from. And thank you.
Very good. Anybody here to speak in favor of any of the papers on the consent agenda? Please come down, Ms. West.
Hi, my name is Valerie West. I'm a Richmond resident in the 1st District. Good evening, President Samuels, members of council. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. I would like to speak in favor of ordinance number 2013-17. I feel like doing a happy dance, but that might be inappropriate. I want to thank you all so much for putting this on the consent agenda tonight. I realize this is the first step in a 2-step process for chickens, unless it's amended and it's the only step. I just want to thank you very much for getting it on the consent agenda, for listening to citizens who have reached out to each and every one of you saying they want urban hens in Richmond. And to let you know, we would have had a whole lot more people here tonight, but we thought it was going to be voted on April 8th. We have over 40 people who had signed up on our Facebook page to come to that meeting. And we have now over 1,300 members of Chickens who want this. Thank you again.
Thank you, Ms. West. There will still be more papers about chickens.
Just one, right?
Well, yes, and it will be voted on April 8th.
April 8th, and the public hearing will still be April 1st? That's what RVA News reported that you told them. Is there not a public hearing April 1st?
It's the Planning Commission is what you're thinking of.
Oh.
The public hearing at the Planning Commission will be that date.
For the chickens.
But that will not be a city council public hearing. The public hearing on city council will be on the 8th.
Okay, but will the Planning Commission be here? The public hearing?
5th floor in the large conference room.
In this building?
Yes.
Is that open to the public?
It is.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Anybody else here to speak in favor to any paper? Anybody here to speak in opposition to any paper? Very good. Back to council for discussion.
Yeah, Mr. Samuels, no discussion. I just want to add to that paper that it's probably going to go to land use also.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Trammell.
Mr. President, did she say that it was 1,000 people that wanted to have the chickens?
I believe over 1,000.
We have 1,107 Richmond residents who signed their name and gave their address and their district. We have 1,000.
Ms. West, I'm sorry, but because we're on TV, you may need to come back up.
All right, I just had enough.
A year ago, we submitted a petition of Richmond residents of 1,107 handwritten signatures of folks who gave their address, their district, and checked a box confirming they were a Richmond resident. These were in-person signatures that we got from Chickens members getting signatures. On our Facebook page of members, we have 1,300 members there. But to let you know, yes, we have 1,107 handwritten signatures of people who said they wanted 8 hens per household with no other restrictions. I have copies of them too.
Thank you. Did you have a question, Ms. Trammell?
Yeah, because I thought that we said that only 200 citizens would be able to get applications.
These aren't all people who want to have chickens. These are all people who think citizens have the right to own chickens.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. Any other comments or questions on the consent agenda? Seeing none, I'd ask the question be called, Madam Clerk.
Council is now voting on the consent agenda, which consists of items 4 through 7, 9, and 31. Mr. Blouse?
Aye.
Ms. Graziano?
Aye.
Ms. Mosby?
Aye.
Vice President Robertson?
Aye.
Mr. Agalesto?
Aye.
Mr. Hilbert?
Aye.
Ms. Trammell?
Aye.
Dr. Newbill?
Aye.
President Samuels?
Aye.
Those items has been adopted.
Thank you very much. May we please move on to the expedited consideration papers.
First expedited paper for this evening is Resolution number 2013-R77 to terminate the services of Alvin M. Anderson as the city clerk. I need a motion for that paper. Ms. Trammell, will you make that motion?
No.
I'll make the motion. No. So moved, Madam Clerk.
Okay. All right, we're voting on President Samuel's motion. Mr. Blouse?
Aye.
Ms. Graziano?
Aye.
Ms. Mosby?
Aye.
Vice President Robertson? Ms. Agalesto?
Aye.
Mr. Hilbert?
Aye.
Ms. Trammell?
Aye.
Dr. Newbill?
Aye.
President Samuel?
Aye.
That paper is before you.
Thank you very much. At this point, are there any folks in the audience who wish to speak in opposition to this paper?
Good evening. My name is Silver Percy. I'm a citizen of Richmond, Virginia. I'd like to speak in opposition to this paper. This paper City Council has the authority to hire and fire the city clerk. That's one of the few positions it can hire and fire. It can also hire and fire the city auditor, also the assessor, the city assessor. And, but I'm speaking in opposition because I don't like the way this is being handled. Can you tell me, Mr. President, has Mr. Anderson received another job with the city? You may not be able to answer. But, you know, it was apparent to me, Mr. Anderson was hired on when I was taking a break from attending city council meetings. I watched the first meeting that he chaired or was the city clerk for on television. And it was clearly apparent to me from that broadcast, he even had problems reading the items on the docket. 6 out of 9 of you all were responsible for hiring him. I would like to encourage you all to be more careful in the future of hiring the next city clerk, perhaps hiring an existing clerk from the city clerk's office might be a good idea. I know your next expedited resolution is to appoint Ms. Capel. And, you know, she's good. She can read a sentence. But I'd also like to encourage you all that there's a lot the city clerk's office can and should do to provide more open access to city government. All of these meetings should be televised, or not televised, but recorded and archived. All of the committee meetings, the city does not provide recordings of those meetings presently. That's something that all citizens in the city have the right to do. Many times, I'm the only private citizen, the only person in the room who's not being paid to be in that room. You know, people are interested in what's going on here. The city's not providing the access to the meetings. So I would encourage the new city clerk to make an effort to, and city council, you guys are preparing the budget now. This is something that you should prioritize. This is something that's important. This task should not fall to me, a private citizen, to attend your meetings so the public has access to your discussions, which would be private if I were not there. You know, you guys will provide audio of these meetings, but those are only available for 1 month until the next committee meeting happens, and those are, I guess, they're kept in clerk's office. But this is a very important position. Please do a good job. I want someone with clerical experience, someone who's competent, and it's your guys' job. This is somebody who works for you, but they work for the citizens of the city. Thank you for the opportunity to comment.
Thank you, Mr. Personer. Anyone else here to speak in opposition?
My name is Chris Dorsey. I'm speaking in opposition to the way this is handled. Again, nearly everything the city does, the city government does, is behind the scenes, behind closed doors, under the table, corrupt in every way. So when were people going to be informed about how this is working, and why is it that the people find out that there's going to be the person who's in charge of council is going to be replaced all in the same day? I mean, is this a position that by law needs to be advertised for? I mean, it just seems like you guys, from the Redskins deal to the jail deal to the, you know, Altria, everything you guys do, it doesn't seem like you follow any rules. You just kind of have a predetermined notion, then you go ahead and do it, and then nobody says anything about it. And the reason that is because the people don't have any idea what kind of dirty stuff you guys are doing. And if they did, I mean, that would be a bad thing. So I can understand why you do everything you can to be deceitful and to hide what you're doing. But I'm opposed to it. So again, this body has no standing. Anybody this body gives order to has no standing. The bodies that have authority over this body have no standing. Thank you.
Is there anyone here who wishes to speak in favor of the ordinance? Seeing none, bring it back to council for discussion. Seeing none, call the question, Madam Clerk.
Council has voted on expedited resolution 2013-R77. Mr. Bliles?
Aye.
Ms. Graziano?
Aye.
Ms. Mosby?
Aye.
Vice President Robertson?
Aye.
Mr. Azagalesko?
Aye.
Mr. Hilbert?
Aye.
Ms. Trammell?
Aye.
Dr. Newbill?
Aye.
President Samuel?
Aye.
That paper has been adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The next paper, please.
Next paper is resolution number 2013-R78 to appoint Jean Capel as the interim city clerk. Need a motion to expedite this paper. Dr. Newbill, can you make that motion?
So moved, Madam Clerk.
Okay, we're voting on Dr. Newbill's motion. Mr. Bliles?
Aye.
Ms. Graziano?
Aye.
Ms. Mosby?
Aye.
Vice President Robertson?
Aye.
Mr. Agalesko?
Aye.
Mr. Hilbert?
Aye.
Ms. Trammell?
Aye.
Dr. Newbill?
Aye.
President Samuel?
Aye.
That paper is before you.
Very good. Thank you very much. Is there those in the audience tonight that wish to speak in opposition to this paper? Are there those in the audience tonight that wish to speak in support of this paper? Mr. Persinger, come on down.
I would just like to express my support for this paper. Congratulations on your new position. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Anyone else to speak in favor? Seeing none, back to council for discussion. Call the question, Madam Clerk.
The council has voted on resolution number 2013-R78. Mr. Bliles?
Aye.
Ms. Graziano?
Aye.
Ms. Mosby?
Aye.
Vice President Robertson?
Aye.
Mr. Agalesto?
Aye.
Mr. Hilbert?
Aye.
Ms. Trammell?
Aye.
Dr. Newbill?
Aye.
President Samuel?
Aye.
That paper has been adopted.
Thank you very much. At this point, may we please have the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting?
The approval of the minutes for this evening are from Monday, February 25th, informal and formal sessions of council, and Monday, March 4th, special meeting of council. Ms. Mosby, will you make the motion for the approval of those minutes?
So moved.
Council is now voting on Ms. Mosby's motion to approve the minutes as read. Mr. Bliles?
Aye.
Ms. Graziano?
Aye.
Ms. Mosby? Vice President Robertson?
Aye.
Mr. Algelasto?
Aye.
Mr. Hilbert?
Aye.
Ms. Trammell?
Aye.
Dr. Newbill?
Aye.
And President Samuels?
Aye.
Those minutes have been approved.
Thank you very much. Unless there is any other business by a council member, I believe the only thing left on our schedule is the introduction of new papers. Oh, that's right. I guess we do need announcements, don't we? Thank you. Sorry, looking at there, we're almost at 7 o'clock. I was getting excited. What I'd like to do with Dr. Newbill's permission is start with her for announcements.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to invite all of the residents of the 7th District Eastern Community to our next district-wide meeting on Thursday, March 21st at the East District Center located at 701 North 25th Street from 6:30 until 8:30. Some of the items on the agenda will be a presentation of the city's derelict program addressing vacant and blighted properties, I have a little cold here, an introduction of the new police chief, as well as an update from our director of DPU regarding rate changes and an update on the city's budget process. So again, extend an invitation for residents of the 7th District, district-wide meeting March 21st, Thursday, March 21st, 701 North 25th Street at the East District Center, 7:30. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Trammell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't have any announcements except for that our 8th District meeting start back April the 18th. That's the third Thursday, April the 18th at 6 p.m. at the Satellite. Hope everyone will be able to attend. Also, this is your free smoke alarm. If you call 646-1526, that's 646-1526, The firefighters will come to your home and they will install the smoke alarm for you for free. And if you need a battery, they will put the battery in the smoke alarm for free. Please give them a call because right now this is about the only thing that's free in the city. And if you want to, you can go to your nearest fire station and set up an appointment for them to come to your house or to your apartment or to your business and install a smoke alarm, because we all know that smoke alarms save your lives. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Trammell. Mr. Hilbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. Would like to remind the public that the next Education and Human Services meeting will be held on Wednesday, March the 20th, here in at City Hall in Council Chambers at 5 o'clock. We'll be discussing the attendance issues and intervention with respect to trying to stem our dropout rate within the city. We will have a discussion with the school system as well as the city personnel assigned to address this issue. We'll also open up a dialogue, or a public dialogue, I shall say, with Richmond School Board Chairman Jeffrey Bourne, and to update, we'll receive an update on initiatives to improve computer access for students. We'll also have one paper. And while I'll announce this at our next meeting, the next 3rd District meeting will be on Wednesday, March the 27th at Pine Camp, located at 4901 Old Brook Road. Our guest will be President Samuels, who will share his thoughts on city government with the residents of the 3rd District. And I will be extending an invitation to all members of council to attend the 3rd District meeting as kind of a series. Hope that we can work with everyone's schedule so that the residents of the 3rd District will get to know all of their council members. We are coming up on the registering for summer camp, and I would ask that people go to the city website and to do just that, register their child for summer camp. There is a registration fee. However, there will be scholarships available, and we do an annual fundraiser to raise money for that specific purpose. The 3rd District has an email blast that goes out at least once a week with important information about city business, and we would certainly like for anyone that's interested to sign up. You can do so by emailing Lisa Towns, lisa.towns at richmondgov.com, or calling her at 646-6055. And please be reminded that we will keep all of your email information confidential. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Hilbert. My friend in the 5th, Mr. Agelasto.
Thank you, Mr. President. Like Mr. Hilbert, the 5th District also has a newsletter that goes out via email, and if you're interested in signing up for it, please contact Ida Jones, and her phone number is 646-5724, or email is ida.i.jones@richmondgov.com. Tomorrow, March the 12th at 9 a.m., for those who are interested in starting a small business or who have a small business, the city is introducing a 10-week course, and tomorrow is an informational session beginning at 9 a.m. over at the Virginia Union University, room 203 of Pickford Hall. This is a program that the city is doing with the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, which is the FDIC. I will be there. I believe it is a good program. So if you have a small business and you're looking for additional training, please attend tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. On Monday, March the 18th, the Maymont Civic Association will be holding their monthly meeting at Maymont's Stone Barn. That's at 7 p.m. Also, we are beginning, with the weather getting better and more attractive for people to be outside, we're beginning to do our spring cleanups that will begin in April and run through October. One thing that we ask is, as you come to visit the parks in the 5th District, please be mindful that what you bring in, you really ought to take out with you. We don't want to have our parks completely littered with people's picnics, debris. So when you come, we want you to come, but please be mindful of what you leave behind. The last thing I'll just say is thank you very much for the Spring Hill residents for beginning the conversations with Storefront for Community Design. We have our next meeting on March the 23rd. If you live in Spring Hill, please contact us or Jason Hendricks to get involved in this very important community workshop as we begin to develop a vision for the neighborhood and identify the needs and resources to make Spring Hill a better place to live and visit. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Agelasto. Mr. Beliles.
Just one announcement. I'll be having a town hall meeting on Tuesday, March 26th at 6 p.m. at Albert Hill Middle School, 3400 Patterson Avenue. And you can find more information at johnbeliles.com. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Graziano?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just one announcement. The Finance Committee will meet on Thursday, March 21st at 3 o'clock in council chambers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Mosby?
I have two announcements. The Midlothian Civic Association will be holding their monthly meeting on tomorrow, the 12th, at the Southside Plaza Center from 6 to 7:30. And our 9th District meeting will be held on Thursday, the 21st, at Red Elementary from 6 to 8. I'm asking the residents please attend so we can make sure we are an informed district. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mosby. Vice President Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. President. A couple of announcements. One, on March the 23rd, Dr. Chandra Mohammed, who is the school board representative of the 6th District, is having a meeting at the Overby Shepherd Elementary School off of First Avenue. Parents, teachers, and school administration are invited to attend. That meeting will start at 10 and end at 12 o'clock on March 23rd. The Anti-Poverty Commission is reporting back to the commissioners and those that are interested in attending on March the 20th, which is next week, Wednesday, at 6 o'clock. That will be at the Police Academy, where the priorities and the strategies for the next 12 months will be laid out, as well as plans for a 3-year implementation strategy for the Anti-Poverty Commission report. And we are also having a study done of the Manchester community, and we are looking for residents or stakeholders of that particular neighborhood area that would like to be interviewed by the consultant team that is hired to complete the study, and they can give my office a call at 804-314-7658. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Vice President. As far as my announcements go, of course, tomorrow at 3 p.m., the mayor will be presenting the proposed city budget for the next fiscal year, 2014-2015. It's a public meeting. The public is invited and encouraged to attend. And then after that, we'll probably come to the end of shorter council meetings, at least through May. We will begin digging into the budget in work sessions, committee meetings, looking to make sure that we are going to be good stewards with the taxpayer money. So I encourage everyone to come out tomorrow and throughout the season to have a say in what you'd like to see happen in the next year's budget for the city. Sunday, March 31st is the annual Easter Parade. I'll be making this announcement again on the 21st, but I couldn't resist saying this as I'm going to be one of the judges in a pet bonnet contest. So come on out and watch me judge. And lastly, this Thursday, March 14th at 6 p.m. at Albert Hill Middle School will be the 3rd Precinct's Impact meeting. So if you want to know what's going on in your area, please come out and become involved. Unless anyone forgot anything in their announcements? Very good. All right, let's do some introductions of new papers, Madam Clerk, please.
Mr. President, the following introduction papers are as follows. Ordinance number 2013-43, and that's to authorize the CAO to accept $34,782.50 from the Virginia Department of Health Health's Office of Emergency Medical Services for the purpose of providing funding for emergency medical equipment, computer hardware and software, and training aid to provide emergency medical services to City of Richmond residents or visitors. Finance and Economic Development Standing Committee, March 21st at 3 p.m. Council public hearing date, March 25th. Ordinance number 2013-44, and that's to amend City Code to remove parking in front of a ramp leading to a crosswalk construction for the use of handicapped persons from the list of offense subject to fines. Governmental Operations, March 28th at 5 p.m. Council public hearing date, April 8th. Ordinance number 2013-45, and that's to amend City Code for the purpose of providing for the conduct of criminal history or other background checks for applicants, employees, and volunteers in certain positions. Governmental Operations, March 28th at 5 p.m. Council public hearing date, April 8th. Ordinance number 2013-46, and that's to amend the pay plan to modify the classified service classification of food service management and juvenile home registered nurse and unclassified service classification of detention home superintendent. Governmental Operations, March 28th at 5 p.m. Council public hearing date, April 8th. Ordinance number 2013-47, and that's to amend City Code for the purpose of including the raising or keeping of more than 4 female chickens as permitted. Land Use, Housing and Transportation Standing Committee, March 19th at 3 p.m. Planning Commission, April 1st at 1:30 p.m. Council public hearing date, April 8th. Resolution number 2013-R79, and that's to accept $2,776.10 for the printing and mailing of newsletters to the 4th District residents. Council public hearing date, March 25th. Resolution number 2013-R80, and that's to approve $2,535.80 for the printing and mailing of newsletters to 9th District residents. Council public hearing date, March 25th. Resolution number 2013-R81, and that's to approve $250 from council district funds for the 6th District to support tree well planting along Broad Street. Council public hearing date, March 25th. Resolution number 2013-R82, to set the rate of personal property tax relief for qualified vehicles for 2013. Finance and Economic Development Standing Committee, March 21st at 3 p.m. Council public hearing date, March 25th. Resolution number 2013-R83, and that's to authorize the issuance of public utility revenue refunding bonds in the maximum principal amount of up to $80 million, and to authorize the Director of Finance to sell such bonds to provide for the form, detail, and payment of and approve the form of the supplemental indenture of trust, and to authorize the issuance of taxable bonds in the same maximum principal amount and payable over the same period. Finance and Economic Development Standing Committee, March 21st at 3 p.m. Council public hearing date, March 25th. Mr. President, that concludes the reading of the introduction papers for this evening.
Very good. Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Ladies and gentlemen, this meeting is adjourned.
Well, another short meeting, quite contrast from our meeting 2 weeks ago. 1 hour and about 13 minutes from the time we got started. Council President Samuels called the meeting to order right at 6 o'clock. We got started. We had the appointments and reappointments, followed by awards and presentations, the agenda review, and at the end of the agenda review, we had no items on the regular agenda. So there we went from there to amending and continued items, and then the citizens' comment period, and then to the consent agenda. It all moved along very quickly. We did have 2 papers, though, that are of note, and I told you about them earlier in the evening, although I couldn't explain them fully at that point. But, however, expedited consideration paper number 1 terminates, effective immediately, the services of Alvin Anderson as city clerk. Paper number 2 appoints Jean Capel as interim city clerk. That one took about 1 minute. The termination paper, people speaking, took about 5 minutes, and the other one took about 1 minute. So, as of right now, Jean Capel is the interim city clerk, and will be allowed. In fact, let me read the whole paper to you here. This is what it says. It says, Jean V. Capel is hereby appointed to the position of interim city clerk for a term commencing upon adoption of this resolution, which will be right now, terminating upon the appointment of a city clerk, and that as interim city clerk, she shall have the powers and duties conferred upon or required by law of the city clerk. So congratulations to Jean Capel. Then we got to the reports from council, the introduction of papers, and right now, an hour and 15 minutes after we started, we are done. Our next meeting will be 2 weeks from tonight on the 25th of March, a very special night for me because that will mark my 25th anniversary of being your host here on Gavel to Gavel. So we'll look forward to seeing you 2 weeks from tonight. Until then, I'm Dick Harmon for Gavel to Gavel saying good night.
Hey, Ms. Moses.